We all know why you're here today. You're looking for YouTube videos on how to tailor your resume to every single job description that passes ATS and gets you interviews and offers, right? Well, here's the catch. You do not need to be tailoring your resume to every single job description anymore. If you give me 5 minutes of your time, you're going to see everything that you've been doing wrong and how to make it right moving forward. Look, we've all been there. We're trying to get jobs. We're doing everything we can. We ask everyone around us, our career counselors, our friends, our parents, so-and-so person on how to find the best offer. And every single time you've been hearing people say, you need to tailor your resume to every single job description. And I'm here today to tell you why you've been wasting your time doing that and why that's not going to get you an offer, especially in this market. But honestly, I don't blame them, because back in 2021, 2022, when everything was starting to reopen after the COVID shutdown, we started to see an influx of tech job hires, and a lot of the people who received these interviews and offers did follow this strategy. However, now times have changed. No longer are the days of easy referrals, easy access, easy networking that will get you this interview or offer. Because the problem is you're only going to waste your time when you tailor your resume to every single job description. And at the end of the day, you're going to look like an entry-level candidate with only a few levels of experience, and you're going to look like a very watered down individual with basic skills. Let's start off with why this advice came to be in the first place. You may have been hearing pieces of advice saying copy these parts of the job description, like stakeholder engagement, data-driven solutions, stakeholder impact, whatever that might be, from the job description and putting it verbatim in your actual resume. And then you're hearing things like copy and paste all the buzzwords, keywords, etc., into your skill section and resume and make it look like a laundry list of everything you've accomplished. The problem is, if you have thrown in a bunch of keywords and buzzwords like Excel, Tableau, and other technical softwares or tools or knowledge-based work that you've done, and then you throw in stakeholder engagement and data-driven solutions, it just looks like you copied and pasted the job description. Hint, that's what you did. But even if you know how to use those tools and you've actually engaged with stakeholders, it doesn't tell the person how you actually engage with stakeholders. How did you come up with solutions? How did you hit your target? How did you increase productivity? Like, all of that is gone because you are trying to mold yourself, your persona, to match a very vague job description that is probably generated by ChatGPT in the first place. So when you start to water down and dilute your actual bullet points, you're no longer keeping any part of you in your resume. And I've seen time and time again where clients who just started working with us mentioned back in the day when they used to apply on their own with their own resumes, they found that they were not getting interviews or offers despite tailoring their resume over and over again. And when we go in to find out like what they actually did on the job, 99% of the time what they mentioned was never written in the first place. And all that is left is a diluted, very skeleton version of what they did without mentioning how they did it, the results they created, and the impact they had in their company. The reason why a lot of people started to use this method is to be able to pass the ATS system. This is the system that automatically rejects you or decides if you're a good fit to be seen by the recruiter and to be given an interview. However, people are missing the second step in order to get that first interview, which is the human. The human recruiter decides whether or not to give you a call or not. I have heard time and time again job seekers who come to us just saying that if I had my resume seen by a human recruiter, I know for sure I would land the interview and the offer. However, the problem is you probably have been seen by the recruiter and they are the ones who are rejecting you. Unless you are not meeting the basic criteria, have the right education or the number of years of experience, ATS will not reject you if you actually have the responsibilities and the keywords related to the job. So if you've been tailoring your resume every single time to the job description, your resume is already flooded with a ton of keywords. The problem is you're not the only one doing this. You're not the only one who's been tailoring their resume. There are thousands and thousands of candidates who are doing the exact same thing as you, because this recycled piece of information has just turned into a whole slew of mess, and you are no longer able to show yourself as a unique individual that has actual skills. If you are competing in this market with other people who are tailoring their resumes, what do you think the recruiter is going to be seeing at the end of the day? They're going to see the same job description over and over and over. And when they flip through, no one's going to stand out to them. It will just look like a random compilation of different ways to emphasize a job description on their bullet points. You're going to get resumes that say like improved operational efficiency by 22% by utilizing Excel and Tableau to engage stakeholders, driving a 17% increase in productivity and 5% increase in revenue. Does it actually tell the recruiters how you increased operational efficiency, what that operation was to begin with? Why did you have to make it more efficient? Where are these numbers coming from? Where is the time frame allotted to be able to make these numbers happen? How did you engage with stakeholders? How did you use these tools and softwares to be able to make a change? Like all of that just seems like you just copied and pasted it, and now you look so entry level to the point where you can't fight for yourself, because before you can even get an interview and prove that you have these skills, you just got rejected. That's it. Plus, not to mention, if you're doing this every single day, the number of applications that you could be sending has drastically decreased because obviously you're a human, you're tired. And it's very hard to keep up with consistent quality if you're doing this over and over again every single day for every single job description. I mean, to be real with you right now, your experiences are your experiences. It's in the past. It's done. You can't really change what you do on the job. The only way that you can really best market yourself is going to be point blank sharing everything you do, your actual responsibilities, the processes that you utilize day to day, rather than trying to mold what you have into something that it's not. Because recruiters can see right through that. I see right through it. And I have worked with hundreds of clients, and every single day I see a resume that has something like this. But I mean, obviously we fix it and we get it to the right point, and then they start getting interviews and offers within a couple weeks. But up until that point, that whole time they've been using that resume, and it's actually really upsetting to me because I used to be in the same position. Like I used to get terrible advice like this too. And I'm a bit of a rebellious person to begin with. Like I never really follow someone's lead. I always try to do what is right for me. And when I went to my career center, I was tutored by someone who was my age. I was trying to look for my very first couple of internships and jobs, and I was met with someone who just got basic training, and I only got help on how to make my page more aesthetically pleasing and columns and margins and spacing. Oh, and they told me that I have to put a bunch of numbers in, but they never told me how to calculate it. I was left with a huge mess to figure out on my own, and I did everything opposite to that. So I had a 2-page resume. I never tailored my resume to a job description. I just told the recruiter exactly what I did on the job or what I did in my academic projects if it was my first internship. Like I really just got crafty, and anytime I would show my resume to someone who was a recruiter or a family friend, someone who's been in industry for a long time, they wouldn't even read my resume. The moment they saw it was 2 pages, they're like, oh my God, no, make it 1 page again. I'm like, bro, this was not working for me for many months. I'm not going back. I'm so glad I didn't listen to anyone because I received so many offers. I received an offer for an internship as a program manager at Intel. Program manager intern at Intel, like that's crazy. But that came right after optimizing my resume on LinkedIn, and I'm so glad I didn't listen to anyone. And I was just always this like rebellious person. Like this is just who I am. Not only did I do this for myself, like this is not a one-time kind of situation. I've done this for hundreds of people. And the moment that they start to talk to me until the time they start applying, they receive interviews and offers like it was always like sitting there waiting for them. The change is so dramatic that I know that it's a proven fact at this point. Tailoring your resume is a waste of time and it's a disservice to you. Even if that worked, like even if out of 1,000 jobs, you received a few interviews and you got offers from all of them, I can almost guarantee that you took a massive pay cut and you are not earning what you are meant to be at your age or experience level or whatever it is. Because the problem is now, if your bullet points are very vague to begin with, you're not going to be able to vouch for yourself. Naturally, our brains has a muscle memory, it has a pattern, and we have identified that if we're not seeing something, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So if your resume has been the same tailored, diluted thing over and over again, and you're only used to seeing it in that watered down format for months or years, you're going to forget everything you did on the job. everything. You're going to forget about the tools, you're going to forget about the softwares, processes, the impact you created, the number of people you worked with, the people you had an impact on. That's going to be out the door. So what you're going to do is you're going to have an interview. I hope you pass it, but I can almost guarantee that you're not going to get the offer you wanted, the title you wanted, the salary you wanted, the location, because you settled. That's why my clients, within 60 to 90 days, not only are they getting amazing tech offers, but they are also getting six-figure offers. They are landing interviews within a couple weeks of updating their resumes and LinkedIn's. And literally lately, everyone has been getting an email message within 24 hours of updating their LinkedIn profiles. The amount of testimonials and results we're getting is crazy. So don't let anyone tell you that the market is so bad, there's no way you're going to get a job. Who said that? Not you. If someone else is telling you that, they probably failed. Sorry, but they failed. They're imposing that on you. Don't listen to them. Because ethically speaking, if I was not getting people results, can I really sit down in front of you guys and tell you everything that I've been up to and show you client testimonials and results? Like, can I really do that? No. Sure, there are people out there who are doing that and recycling like testimonials from like the last 7 years, and then they haven't gotten like a new one ever since. But I'm telling you right now, don't tailor your resume anymore. Do it one time, do it right, put in the right effort, because I can guarantee that all the effort that you put into tailoring your resume, if you just shed some of that into just doing it right the first time and getting the bullet points right, you never have to tailor your resume again. You never even have to touch your resume again. You never have to look at it again. Just drag and drop, submit your applications, and just move forward. And if you know that this is who you want to become and you no longer want to identify as a person who just knows there's a problem but keeps sticking to the same old habits, and you want to become like our clients who receive these offers back to back, who leave working with us feeling like the best, most motivated, most confident versions of themselves, not to mention the amazing offers that they get, just book a call with our team below. We would be happy to do a free resume review while on the call, so you see personalized feedback. It's live on the call, so it's not going to be some bullshit like template or little fun like activity where you just do it by yourself. Like, we're going to tell you exactly what's wrong with your resume, and we will also have an interview prep along with it, because I want you to be able to see how ready you are to take on these interviews. You don't need just an interview. You need to be able to pass it, right? So you don't want to just like settle for any interview. You could pass all interviews, but if you're not vouching for yourself throughout, you can't negotiate a salary. You can't get the best offer. You can't get the best title. And that's what I had to do every single time. I had to vouch for myself. This is why I was able to negotiate extra $20,000 across my Intel offers. So after my program manager internship, I got converted into a supply chain research and development engineer. And after that, in my next job, I was able to negotiate an extra $40,000 on top of my offer, because I wanted something more. I wanted a better job title. I wanted a better experience. I wanted more money. And the way that I was able to do that was how I vouched for myself over and over again during the interviews. So it was very hard for the recruiter and the hiring team to say no. Now is the time to take ownership and autonomy over your job search process. You should not be listening to random people about how to go about the job search process when they haven't done it themselves, or let alone to the hundreds of people and thousands of people that are currently looking for jobs right now. This process is proven, and no hate to anyone, but if someone keeps telling you you need to tailor your resume to every single job description, or worse, if they tell you, hey, I can tailor your resume and create so many different amazing versions for you, run. If someone's offering that kind of service and they are just wanting you to submit a resume to them, they're going to create magically resumes on their own. They're probably using a bunch of AI. If they're not talking to you, they have no information. They have no way to take what you have done on the job and actually put it on the resume. So they're just taking a bunch of different job descriptions and combining them together and saying, here, enjoy. And even worse is if someone's out there taking your resume and adding a bunch of fake experience to it, making it seem like you have 10, 12, 15 more years of experience than you actually have, and applying to jobs for you, run. You're going to waste your time, you're going to waste your money, and at the very end of the day, even if you find a job, it's going to be a very bad salary, and you're going to have to rely on them over and over and over again for your next jobs in your career. And in the US, careers are a very long time. It's something to work for a very long time, especially if you have eyes at the very top. So if you are finding yourself relying on random people to do that kind of service for you, you're going to be stuck relying on them for the rest of your career. So here's what we can do. And this fact goes especially for women. As women, we need to control our finances, our career, our life, our independence. We have to maintain autonomy over our life. That's it. We cannot rely on someone else. We cannot rely on someone else to do the heavy lifting for us because we're always going to be dependent on them. If you want to switch jobs for whatever reason, if it's a toxic work environment, if you're just like, hey, you know what? I'm happy with this job, but I know I want something more. I want to be more successful. You're going to have to rely on someone every single time, whether it be a referral, a networking call, someone to make an introduction for you, or like what I mentioned, like these random services who you never really see them, and then they just get your resume and then submit to jobs for you, and then you have no idea what happened to your resume and what kind of false information is on there. Like, I'm speaking for everyone. Like, you need to take ownership over your life. I don't care how old you are, I don't care who you are, but if you are trying to build that independence and confidence, you should know how to do this for yourself, which is why exactly our clients have lifetime access to our resources. They get the job done, they fix their resume one time, and they're set for life. If you think about it, the resume, let's say on average you spent at each job like 3 to 5 years, and then you have a 2-page resume. You have room for at least maybe 10 or 15 years. But I mean, obviously no one really minds beyond 10 years. So like, you don't even have to worry about that. But let's say if you're more, I guess, more mid-level, then let me give you an example. And you have 2 to 3 years in every single job, and you have maybe 4 jobs up until this point. That's about 8 years of experience. And then you're going to take that, and then you're going to have a 2-page resume. And then once you get your new job, that just shifts down by 1. You're going to remove the last one, and then you're going to have a new one on top. And you're never going to have to worry about updating the rest of them. That's already done. You just update your new one. The best part is, this is all going to be evergreen on LinkedIn, meaning there's no limit on LinkedIn. You can have as many experiences as you want, and all the hard work that you did that one time will always live on LinkedIn. You're just going to add a new experience on top. So this is the type of logic you need to follow if you want something that's sustainable, and if you want something that's like actually worth your time. Like, you should not worry about tailoring your resume. You should not worry about fixing things according to what random people tell you to do. That's not going to get you a job. You can get yourself a job by following what's actually true to what you do on the job, and stop adapting your life to others. That's it. So like I mentioned, if this is something that you know you needed like yesterday, book a call with our team. It's completely free. Like, you come to the call, we will do a resume review for you. We're going to go over your bullet points. We're going to talk about what to do better, what is good about it, what to continue doing, and then we're going to do a mock interview to ensure that you are ready to go for the next steps. And without further ado, make sure you follow along on all of my social media platforms, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and leave any comments below if you have some questions, and I'd be more than happy to make a video about that in the next ones. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!